Greetings, Vac fans. I'd like to start a new measurement series. So I have my shoebox. I guess it was Nunbush was the brand I happen to use for some of my business-oriented shoes. It says Discover Comfort. And I made a new cutout to handle small floor nozzles and other types of small nozzles, or things with small nozzles anyway. And I want to start out with a bunch of Kirby surface cleaning nozzles and even test, I guess they call this a wall sealing brush, and this is an upholstery tool. And I want to test the machines as you would get them as a whole. So I've got a G4, 5, 6, and Centria 2, and for whatever reason, I decided to start with a G6, probably in deference to Mikko from Vacuum Tests in the Finland, as he says it. Hi, Mikko. And let's take a look at how much CFM these things can actually generate. Now, I haven't yet really decided what the best way is to measure this because I've sealed this all the way around, but that's not really the way something like this works when you put it on the hard floor, unless you push down very deliberately. Then it will kind of seal to the floor, and it'll probably also scrape as you push it along. But got to start somewhere, so might as well seal this thing and see what's going on. So let's take a look at how my setup is. See, I'm using the little adapter, just like most people, I suppose, would when they would hook up the hose. G6 hose, going to the 6, and obviously since the hose is installed, it's running on high speed, and inside that bag is the red HEPA bag, and as you can see, I've got the hose stretched out straight, and then it comes down at about a 45-degree angle. So let's get started and see what kind of CFM we can manage to get. Now, all the way over here to your right is a G4, and notice that that G4 surface nozzle is metal. I assume the G3 was, but you guys will have to tell me that since I don't have a G3. Then in the middle, that reddish one is the G5, and if you look at the plate on that, it's the same one as the G6, so no real difference. But from the 4 to the 5, there was a definite difference. And then all the way over here is a Centria 2, and there's quite a big difference in that bottom plate. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, 2539. So we are at 66 CFM down here. That's really something. Incidentally, right up here, right there, it's 106. So we lost 40 CFM going through all those conversions, but we still have 66 CFM. That's not bad. And the nozzle openings here aren't very wide. If I look at, say, a G5, well, I'm not sure if I should count that or not. There's a little slit in there. If I don't count that, we're looking at about 7 3/4 inches. If I do count that, I'm looking at a total of about 9 inches. But obviously this is blocked here and blocked here. So this is a little less than an inch. So if I just had to kind of just guess off the cuff, I'm going to say probably something like maybe 6 or 7 square inches. So that might be a CFM density, again, just kind of loosely calculated on the fly, of close to 10 to 1. So in my Centria 2, the CFM density from the power nozzle, again on the Centria 2 with a little higher CFM than a G6, is about a 4 to 1. And this one is about a 10 to 1. So that's really something. Just for laughs, let me see if I can make the nozzle stick to my hand. So this has enough CFM and enough CFM density that I can actually make this stick to my hand. Remember, Kirby's don't do high suction. So this Kirby here might have 40 inches of suction or even less, especially by the time it gets to here. But yet, it's still enough that it can lift this whole contraption. All right, my first measurement with the wall sealing brush, I'm going to leave the bristles on, and I'm just going to kind of play with it without sealing it. Then I'm going to pop the bristles off and actually seal the unit. Okay, so using the bristles here, and let's face it, when you use the bristles, you're not going to get a perfect seal to whatever you're pointing it at. We're at 1437, and we're at about 38 CFM or so rounded. Okay, so that's kind of what you would expect, because this is never going to make a perfect seal. It's not really supposed to. So let's pop this off, and we're going to reconvene, and I'm going to seal this to the box. Now we have this tool sealed to the box. I think that's a pretty good result. 3071. Yeah, 80 CFM. Now, I don't know how many of you actually use the tool set up this way, but if I was doing maybe a large cushion or something that wouldn't be damaged by using this without the bristles, that's a lot of CFM. And this thing probably is a couple inches deep by 7 inches wide. So that might be something like 14 or so square inches in here. All right, so the next thing is the upholstery tool, and this little reducer adapter plate also comes off, so we'll test it 2 ways as well. Now the upholstery tool is hooked up, but I have the little reduction plate or the adapter plate sitting on it, so this should be a lower number than when I go and actually take the reduction plate off, but let's see. Well, gee, that's pretty nice. That's a lot from that tiny little tool. 80, almost 81 CFM, 80.6. Wow. All right, so I'm going to take the tape off and take the adapter plate off and see if that goes higher. All right, now let's give the upholstery tool a try without this little reducer adapter plate on it. All right, not much difference, really. So the one was 80.6, this one's now 81.2. So no real appreciable difference as far as airflow. So that was surprising. I thought that this would actually reduce it a little bit more than that, but it doesn't. But it does make a difference in the way that this slides across upholstery. Obviously, this is going to be very sharp-edged, and this is actually going to be very smooth. And it even has some relief, little suction relief notches right there. Well, that concludes then everything I can think of that makes any kind of sense to test for a Kirby G6. So here's all the tools right here, tested several different ways. I'm going to repeat this probably for the G4 and the Centria 2. I don't think there's going to be a point in doing the G5 because I think everything is going to be so similar that it's not really going to matter much. So thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.